Welcome back to another episode of Meet the Team, a show by OrthoLite. And today I'm so delighted to introduce Olivia Billingsley, who is the sales manager of the premium channel for OrthoLite globally. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, this is going to be a fun conversation. We get to talk about kind of career highlights, what made you join OrthoLite, and then how the business is changing, because I know you've really been like just right there in the trenches with your customers, and they range from such a wide range of customers that you serve. So I'm really excited. I'm just going to dive right in by asking you to introduce yourself and give us some career highlights and just kind of who you are.
So I'm Olivia Billingsley. I have been in the shoe industry for, I can't believe it to say it, 23 years. I started in 2000, right out of grad school. I got my master's in fine arts and was living in Brooklyn and said, I don't want to be a teacher. I want to do design, and got my first job at ES Originals doing design work for them. And back in the day, I was thinking about this while I was, just thinking about the interview. And I used to sketch like 50 sketches and fax them to the factories.
That's awesome.
I just hope that I would get a receipt that that it went through. And times have changed, obviously, but that was really my beginnings. And I really fell in love with the shoe industry. And I've really, been in footwear in some capacity or one way or the other for the last 23 years, whether it's sales, production, design. I've kind of tried it all.
That's amazing. And that's such a fantastic range of experience to bring to your role, because if there's one thing I've noticed about our sales team globally is you're not a sales team. You're not transaction based. You're almost like a concierge. And the way that you manage the process of an idea in somebody's brain all the way to bringing it to the consumer is truly remarkable. It is definitely not a transactional job that you're in. And I think that all of the pieces of your career and how you just hold in such high regard, like relationships that you've earned along the way, I think all of it is really coming to fruition in this role. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think that's what sets the sales team at OrthoLite apart, is that we're mostly, for the most part, product people. And we were hired as such. And CB to it, who is our chief sales officer, was like, you really wanted people that had been in the trenches, done the work, can kind of foresee what the problems are going to be, and be like, I always say, I want to be the conduit between design and development and production. So I'm here to problem solve with designers and and have a true partnership with them on how to, bring the best product for their brand to life.
And how did you find OrthoLite, or did OrthoLite find you?
OrthoLite found me. I knew of OrthoLite, obviously, being in the footwear industry for so long, but I was doing sales for a company out of California, and CB found me. And he goes, you're perfect. You've done design, you've done sales, you've done production, you've done all these things. And I said, no, I'm not ready. No, I turned him down. And he's great, because a year later he calls me up and he goes, are you ready now? Do you want to rethink it? And I'm like, yeah, okay. Best decision I ever made. And I'm going to have my 5-year anniversary this March.
Oh, congratulations. And we're recording this in early February of 2023. Yeah. So that's coming right up. That means you're going to get probably a pink Cadillac and a Rolex, right?
Yeah, definitely a Rollie. Definitely a Rollie. If Marty's listening and Marty watches this, my boss will be like, he's the Rolex guy. So.
Yep. Okay. Good to know. So tell me this. I know you just said that CB kind of reeled you in, but did your opinion of OrthoLite become even more pronounced in the positive direction when you met Glenn and JB? I'm just curious.
Oh yeah. If you want to have the boss of all bosses, it's Glenn. Mm-hmm. Glenn is, he's an icon in our industry, but talk about someone who's so genuine, so humble about what he does. And he really, really cares about our industry. If you think about 210 and how much he's done for just the footwear industry in the whole, is amazing. He was honored last year at 210. He's incredible. He's so open. He's got a great singing voice, as we know from karaoke. We like to sing a lot together. He's great.
Yes, he truly is. And
JB's the same. He's the same. He's so open. willing to like listen if there's issues or problems and help you problem solve. They're great. They're really great to work with.
They really are. And they've been all over the world building this business. And I know that that's something that you also enjoy. I was going to ask you what some of the best aspects are about being on the OrthoLite sales team. Why don't we start with the travel? I imagine that that's I know that sometimes the best part about something can also be a challenge, right? Yeah. Especially in the past few years. But I bet I'm just kind of wagering here that you probably really love to do that because you love working with your customers so much.
Yeah. So it was really tough being on Zooms and trying to connect like with your customers. I mean, we did it and we did it well as a company, but to be out and in front of, it's my favorite thing to do about the job, to go and sit with a new customer, learn about their product, what they're trying to achieve. How can I help you? That's the best part, learning. And because product people are the best, going in and meeting them. They're just like such a cool bunch. And I love creatives. So that is really great. And then to travel, I mean, we're going to Milan in 2 weeks. You can't complain there. No. And a lot of my travel is local. I'm in New Jersey and a lot of my customers are based in New York City. I do have some in California. So, I mean, I get to do a lot of fun stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. How would your colleagues on the sales team describe you as a travel partner, Olivia?
Well, I'm the fun one, I think.
Yeah.
I'm always down to try something new. I'll always get up and sing karaoke.
Yes, you will.
I will. And I love picking out a good restaurant. Mm-hmm. So I think that they would say I'm fun. But, all the sales team, the people that I work with, they're so fun. Like, and you've met with all of them. They're just like always down to have a good time and laugh. And, obviously they're, experts in their fields. All our team has been, they're really experts at what they do, but they know how to have fun and, be lighthearted about stuff. It's fun.
They do. And I do think it's been really fantastic to learn about just how much they care about the process for so many different brands. I mean, your focus is premium, but you work with all kinds of brands. And I was wondering, is there an element of cross-training there that benefits your customers because you're working with different categories and segments? And I don't know if you could elaborate on that for us.
So I work with everybody from premium dress, think of like Tapestry Group, all the way down to, shouldn't say down, but just in other channels where we work with big box retailers and everybody in between. Like, for example, I work with this new brand, Gales, which I'm really proud of. They do nursing shoes. So we can do with all these different categories of shoes and just being, and I love that, learning about a new category or a way to make something, like a dress shoe more comfortable. It's great. It's so much fun.
Well, and also just the sustainability, we would be remiss if we didn't touch on it because Glenn Barrett, 26 years ago, the fact that he founded the company doing with a commitment to 5% recycled rubber 26 years ago, it has never wavered from his commitment and, to lessening the impact of the footwear, community at large is remarkable. And obviously he always sees himself as like a humble steward and part of this global community, right? We're here to help everyone and work with everyone toward that goal. But I would love to ask you, because you have a front row seat with so many different brands from different categories, can you talk about how the business is evolving? We'll start with sustainability and talk about other things, but I would love to kind of hear just from your purview, what are you seeing out there? How is it changing? And it's changing like pretty quickly, as I understand.
Well, it's funny. Well, I want to step back for a second and just talk about Glenn that I didn't mention before. Was that, talking about sustainability, yes, he's always cared about trying to close the loop. But what's interesting about him is he gets excited he's been a steward of sustainability forever, but also he's open to new ideas, trying new things. He could sit back on his laurels and be like, hey, we make 600 million insoles a year. We're good, but he actually is like, yes, we're going to do new innovations. And, with Rob Felkin being there, the two of them work so well together, always looking for something new to put out there. Cirql, is going to be an amazing innovation that we're launching, that, he's taken a big part in. So I think it's good to say that, that sustainability has been like the number one thing on his mind since day one.
And we listen to you all out in the field, everything that you're doing, everything you're reporting back in on. And I feel like it gives us a little bit of a leg up in terms of being able to turn around innovation or steer innovation to problem solve for your customers. But I guess I'm specifically like asking, take us to these, who's sitting around the table, right? Or who's visiting our factories? Like, give us a little insight on how that's changed in just the last 18 months.
Yeah, it's crazy. The meetings that I'm having with new innovation leaders in positions, people, that we'd never been meeting with before, that are new hires within certain companies, that they're really making it an important initiative in their companies to say, hey, we definitely need to be stewards of sustainability. And that was not the case for dress. Even like 2 years ago, they said, you know what, we need to work on the aesthetics of the shoe. We need to work on this, when we can afford it, we'll do it. But now everyone realizes they're like, no, we have to take responsibility for this. So I've had so many meetings with so many brands just in the last, 6 months with saying like, what can we do? And looking to us as leaders in that space to be like, how can you help us with this issue?
It seems to me that we've been receiving a lot of requests, and that goes for visiting some of our 6 different wholly owned manufacturing facilities on 6 different continents.
Yeah,
all the way to the meetings that you're having with customers, whether it's business reviews or planning meetings, where we can be almost like guides to pull back the curtain on supply and sourcing and what happens through the whole process and how it's changing. And from everything that I've been hearing, we have new leaders from sustainability, like footwear brands are hiring people from other industries to help them with this. And we're able to be in a position where we could say, hey, we've been at this 26 years. Like, how can we help you get your legs under you with the job? And like, it's goes so far beyond talking about materials and insoles. It's just an incredible, as I said, it's a concierge experience. It's bringing everything that we have as a company to the forefront and helping them de-risk their business along the way.
Yeah. As talking about HIG, educating our customers on what that even is and how, we acquired it and what gradings we've gotten. I really do think we're leaders in that space, getting GRS certification. They're looking to us to actually help them with that sometimes. Kind of weave through it since we've been through it. And we've got Richard Bevan, who's amazing, who's helped us with all of that. And so I think we're industry leaders when it comes to, third-party validation, all of that stuff.
Right. And I think, with our leadership, it seems like they take a personal responsibility. Like, we are the category founder and leader. We are the biggest in the space. We own our manufacturing footprint, and it is our responsibility to work alongside our customers to do everything we can to help them achieve their own climate goals with their product. Right. And that's a lofty goal, but that's one of our pillars. Like, that's what we're working on. It's far more than just like a one and done or a new innovation or a lower price. That's definitely like, it's the value and the transparency is just light years above those conversations. So I'm personally just excited about where we're going. And I also love just how humble we are around knowing that it's a long journey ahead and that we're just committed to always taking the next best step,
Yeah, very true.
So I have to ask, can you share with us a person who you admire and why? And it could be like a person who's influenced you in a positive way, somebody who's impacted you and how you work, globally in this role.
Okay. Going outside the box on this one.
Okay.
I was her for Halloween. And it's Iris Arfel, who is, she's like a fashion icon. She was actually in Footwear News like a couple of months ago. So I went as her for Halloween. But what I love about her is, she's 101 and she's still rocking it. She's still like starting, new rug designs and, teaching and all these wonderful things. But it just goes to show that, your career doesn't always have to be set in stone. You can pivot and reinvent yourself. But I also like that she's always had her own style aesthetic, that she hasn't followed, she's stayed true to who she really is. So And I want to be like wild like that. When I'm 100, well, if I'm lucky, if I'm 80, I want to be able to like, like wear crazy necklaces and like, I just want to be wild as the older I get. Right.
I heard
and the other one is Miss Piggy. She's my childhood.
Oh my gosh. I had 2 Miss Piggy dress dolls when I was little.
I also went for Miss Piggy Halloween costume 2 years running. So she's like, she's like my spirit animal,
I love that. I did not know that about you. And we oddly share that in common. Seriously. Like I was super into her when I was a young person. I haven't heard that name in a while. Thank you. And I see the spirit that you're going for with both of those people. And I definitely see how
independent, will speak their minds, like way into fashion, way into being fabulous. So yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So what would be, kind of going from that, what would be your pinnacle definition today in 2023 of being a great brand partner to our near 500 brand partner family?
It's not a super sexy word, but it's reliability. I really feel like, if you work with us, we're going to take care of you. We're going to make our POs. We're going to do what we say we're going to do. And that really is a testament, I think, to our brand, like our country managers and our factories. They move mountains to get stuff done, whether you're transferring a PO from China to Vietnam or, they put in the work to make it happen, and our customers expect it of us. So it's definitely like trust and reliability is really how I feel like we've built all these brand partners.
And while I agree with you that on the surface, reliability may not be the sexiest term, I think to anybody in a designer or developer role today, that is a very enticing term. And it's how we've built trust for 26 years. Yeah. So I think it's a fantastic answer. And I also just love that you're pointing to the fact that we have, in many ways, 6 suppliers in one, right? I really feel like what Glenn and the team have built in terms of just being able to be nimble between 6 different manufacturing facilities that bring capacity, consistency, like everything there coming through COVID, that brought that story to life like no other story in this company. Yeah. And I think it's become it's a standard that nobody can touch. Yeah. And it's one that I hear you, like we have people all over the world committed to the same goal as you are. So that partnership level here at this company is a completely different definition in my mind. Okay, so I have to go into my favorite part, which is the lightning round. And these are short answer questions that you have to kind of speak to, like from the first answer that pops into your head. Okay. All right. So what do you love to do when you're not working?
Well, I have 2 teenage children at home, so I don't like it, but I do like it because I get a lot of gossip out of them. I drive everywhere, right? Is it baseball practice? Is it guitar lesson? Is it ACT tutor? So like I do a lot of driving, but if it wasn't that, I would have to say I would be going to a museum with my husband. That would be our thing. Like this weekend, we're going to the Hopper exhibit at the Whitney on Sunday instead of watching football as my silent protest. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to watch the game too. That's on later. But it's museums and it's music. It's going to see music, live music. I love it.
You are a creative through and through.
Totally.
So, what superpower do you wish you had?
Me and my kids were talking about this at dinner the other night. I definitely don't want to read minds. I don't want to know what anyone thinks about me. Like
that would be horrible.
That would be horrifying. It's definitely not like being invisible. I never want to be invisible. Like, no. It's got to be like teleportation. I can go from here to Hawaii and sit on the beach. So I don't have to take that flight, or, like just, it would be such a time saver just to be like blink and I'm, like somewhere else at a meeting or home or whatever.
I'm totally with you. And are you a night owl or an early bird?
Everyone in my family makes fun of me that I like to be in my pajamas at 8 p.m. sharp. I'm such a loser. 8 p.m. sharp. I like a lot of rest. I need a lot of beauty sleep.
I don't think there's anything loser about that whatsoever.
No, I need a lot of rest.
And then what would your favorite drink at the bar be?
Oh, spicy margarita. And in a pinch, it would be a Prosecco.
Awesome. Well, we'll get to do that here pretty shortly.
Yeah, in Milan.
Yeah. And then what's your favorite part of the job, Olivia?
Oh, it's got to be going to see accounts, like going to see brand partners. Me and Marty were just talking about this last week when we went and saw all of our customers. It's getting to be with other people, problem solving, group settings, figuring out what people need. It's definitely got to be, with our brands. That's the best part for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then lastly, this is one I think that you'll love and you'll do a great job with. But let's say that you have the opportunity to give constructive insight to a 25-year-old version of Olivia. Like, what is something you've learned in your life that you would depart to her today?
It would be, don't let anybody else define who you are, whether it's in a job or anything. People can say, oh, you're not right for that job. You really you decide for you. And then also, and I say this to my children all the time, you have to be the advocate for yourself. You have to be the one that speaks up. And this is especially for women, right? In any industry, like you have to speak up and ask for what you want. I think that's so important.
It is. And I'll say as, our team, I think is just like every company striving to do their best with having, a parity, if you will, with leadership. And I think this is a great crew in that regard. And I'm so delighted to be able to work with women like you and Kristen and Juliet. And we have a great crew over here of really great leaders at the company. And I just want to shout that out. I'm so glad that you brought that up because it's a work in progress for every company. And our company is very supportive of that. So I'm glad you brought that up. And I think those are great, great pieces of advice. I still could probably learn something from both of those pieces of advice. So thank you again. Did I forget to touch on anything, or do you think we've done a pretty good job here talking about your role with OrthoLite, the team, and just what OrthoLite's doing?
No, I think we really covered it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I very much look forward to getting to spend time with you overseas.
Yeah,
we're both going to Milan to visit customers and to be at Lineapel. And I'd love to see you in action. So it'll be really great to be over there. So thank you so much for your time today. It was great to get to know you more on this edition of Meet the Team, Olivia.
Thank you so much. It was fun.